What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with Siege. I just want to focus in on the Nashville Predators season preview going into the 2015-2016 season. Um, looking at the squad that surprised a lot of people last year in being as good as they were, and they won 6 games as the eventual champs without Shea Weber for the majority of the series. So, there's plenty of reason to be optimistic and peg Nashville as a contender going into the season, and I'm doing that. I really think this team will compete for the division title, particularly with the Blackhawks. I think the Blackhawks and Blues will take a step back, and that's even the Kane situation being up in the air. Regardless of how that breaks, I think the Blackhawks will take a little bit of a step back next year. That's not to say they're going to suck, but with the decisions you can make with the salary cap and everything else, unless the youth in Chicago really steps up, but we're not here to talk about the Blackhawks. We're talking about Nashville, and again, you look at the young nucleus in place, and I've said this, I've stressed this many times. Philip Forsberg and Seth Jones both need contract extensions. If I was Dave Boyle, I'd try to get it done before the season started, so you don't have to worry about them hitting restricted free agency next summer. And I don't think it's that big of a deal. Nashville's going to have cap space, but they are a budget team, if you will. So I think that they will. The deals will get done. And I talked about it last week. I don't think they move Shea Weber, not this offseason. I think it's too late. And you don't move your captain and perennial Norris Trophy candidate at the deadline. It's just foolish. I think they're gonna go into the season with a squad. I mean, I like their D. Obviously, that's like saying I like attractive women and cold beer and football and plasma screens. Uh, they have a very good and experienced young defense corps. Weber's with Barrett Jackman and Weber are the only two over the age of 30, and we'll talk about Jackman in a second. With guys like Roman Yossi and Ryan Ellis, Seth Jones, I mentioned Seth Jones, I mean even Ekholm to a certain degree. They really have some, and a lot of those guys got a lot of experience last year in the playoffs without Weber in the lineup. So, and they for the most part held their own. I mean, the Blackhawks puck possession and those forwards are some of the best in the world. So, I don't. Do I think that things are a different story with Weber in the lineup in that series? Yeah. But, it's no Monday morning quarterback in here. Pecorine, one of the best in the business. I'd like to see them get him more rest. He's going to be 33. And, not the goalies die at 34, 34, but, I don't want him playing, 70 games next year. I think, shoot for a solid 55 to 60 starts and, see what Hutton or Mazanek, whoever, can step up and kind of be a capable backup for something that they could use. And again, I think there's going to be a lot of youth in this lineup. I think with the forwards, Philip Forsberg's only 21 years old. He just turned 21 I think 10 days ago. It's like, shit, this kid is good. And then you look at Kevin Fiala, played in the playoff game last year. He's 19. And I think Austin Watson's kind of on his last legs with the organization. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, maybe he can compete for a spot in the bottom six, maybe he doesn't. But the mixture of youth and veterans up front is interesting. Re-signing Mike Fisher, locking up Colin Wilson, I thought was a very, very, very smart move, and just keeping that nucleus intact. I'm excited to see what Steve Moses does. I watched him play college hockey at UNH, and he was a very good Hockey East player. So what does he do? After being in the KHL for a little bit, now that he's getting a legitimate shot in the NHL, what's going to happen in that? Who's he going to play with? He's a pretty good passer. I'd kind of like to see him play with James Neal a little bit. I think maybe him and Rivera can kind of work off each other with their passing magic. And even re-signing Rivera was not a popular move because of the off the ice bullshit. And I'm not here to go one way or the other with it, but I mean, if he produces like he did last year, for not a whole lot of money, I mean, it's, again, another bargain. I mean, I really like the direction this team is heading in. I think Laviolette and those guys have really built something good here in Nashville, and I think, they'll be Stanley Cup contenders next season. They got the team to do it. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of experience, and quite frankly, there's a lot of hunger. You get beat up by the Blues and Blackhawks long enough, it's like, all right, we've got to take it to them. And again, I think if this is the year Nashville can capitalize, the Weber rumors are always going to be there every year until, whatever. But, you give this team the window. This is going to be their year if they do it. Because, again, you look at the other teams in the division. I mean, how much better is Minnesota going to be? Will Devin Dubnyk be able to replicate his success? There's so many question marks in that division that I think Nashville can kind of, if everyone plays to the level they're capable of, contend for number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So again, I like what they've done, and we'll see what happens as the season goes on. Stanley Cups aren't won in August, but when I do my preseason preview, I'll go into further detail, or my overall league preview and picks, go into more detail about it. But you look at the Central Division. St. Louis, I think, will take a few steps back. Chicago, I think, will take a few steps back. Minnesota's a big question mark. Winnipeg, how do they live up to expectations after going back to the playoffs last year? How does Dallas with their acquisitions, are they back in the playoff picture? I mean, it's easy to say yes, but we don't know that for sure. And then likewise with Colorado, are they going to be back on track after an off year? I mean, every team in the division got at least 90 points, and it's arguably the best division in hockey. You can make a real strong argument for that. In fact, I think statistically it was the best division in hockey. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the off season and beyond. Later, guys.